ladies and gentlemen, to Fan Appreciation Month here on Reaction and Review. Tonight, guys, I'm taking a look at a New Zealand horror comedy from 2006. That movie is Black Sheep. Now, the only thing I know about this movie is it has something to do with man-eating, pissed-off killer sheep. That's it, guys. I really wish I could give you more detail beyond that, but I can't, because as far as I know, there are no other details. I have yet to see a trailer for this. I just basically heard the plot about pissed off, angry sheep, and I'm like, I've got to see this. I have no idea if this thing is going to be good. I have no idea if this thing is going to be bad. I'm genuinely hoping for it to be decent. But honestly, I could not tell you a thing about, the plot or the quality or anything else. I do know that the special effects were done by Peter Jackson's Weta Studios. That's really about as far as I can go, guys, in terms of detail. So I'm genuinely curious if this thing is any good. And once more, I do really hope that it is good. And the only way I'm going to find out if this thing's got any redeeming qualities at all is if I shut up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Black Sheep. Okay, that is a really creepy looking sheep, puppet. In fact, it looks really, really awesome in its own creepy, kind of goofed up sort of way. Alright, guys, I just saw a sheep tackle a full-grown man, and it was probably one of the funniest things I've seen all fucking day. That was genuinely cool. Alright, guys, I never really thought I would see a 6-foot-tall, fully fucking clothed sheep, but yeah, that is exactly what I'm seeing here, and it's a little bit fucking creepy. Okay, so apparently mint sauce burns a weresheep. Okay, I would never have guessed that. Frankly, it's sort of cool, but I honestly would never have guessed that. Okay, I never thought in my wildest dreams I would see a movie where a man stabs a sheep in the dick, but damn it, that is exactly what I just saw, and it was kind of fucked up. Well, guys, that was Black Sheep. Let me shut that off. Okay. So, writing. Where to start? Well, now, if I were to give you a really quick summary of this movie without going into spoilers and without, spending a whole lot of time, I would say, I want you to imagine zombie movies, werewolf movies, and the birds. You took all those and just threw them all, and you just threw them all together, and the mishmashed result would be Black Sheep. Now, mind you, that actually may sound now that may sound like I'm trying to bag on the film, but I'm not, because it actually is a mix that works, and it works incredibly well. And the story, if we were to go into a little bit more detail, is about two brothers, one of which is traumatized at a very young age, where he now has a crippling fear of sheep. And the other brother has sort of taken over the family farm and has started doing scientific tinkering with sheep, and it's now turned the sheep into essentially blood-fucking-thirsty maniac sheep. And if you get bit by one of these sheep, you then turn into what I can only call a weresheep. And it really it really works. Now, that right there is sort of my way of summing up the werewolf and the zombie end of things. And but where exactly does the birds thing fit in? Well, you see, guys, the birds was just basically about a small town being fucking ravaged by thousands of birds. This thing here is a farm, and every single person on that farm is being hassled and ravaged and killed by thousands of sheep. And it just looks amazing. Writing here also, in terms of like characters, our characters are certainly fucking like fleshed out, and they're really, really interesting. Nobody here feels, you know, flat or lifeless. It all totally works. And also our writing, seeing as how this is a horror comedy, it kind of helps if your film has some fucking like level of wit and humor to it, and this movie certainly has that. This thing, guys, has everything you could possibly ask for in writing, and if I had to complain about anything in the writing, it would be that the film takes just a little bit too fucking long to actually get going, because you see, the movie's only an hour and 26 minutes long, and because it's working with a slightly shorter time frame than most other films, or rather a shorter runtime than most other films, you really have to get your story and your conflict going incredibly fast, and we are not really introduced to the whole like killer fucking sheep end of things until almost 20 minutes in, which means that there's not really a whole lot of time to actually properly play around with the whole concept of killer sheep. And it would have been nice if they would have maybe like sped up the opening a little bit, and then actually focused much more on the killer sheep end of things. However, though, even though the opening is sort of, you know, like slow, you know, building, it still does not kill the movie, and the movie works out it works out fantastically. Now, the acting here is also really good. I honestly could not find a single actor who, you know, did a poor job, and everybody here just came in and they just made everything work. Now, special effects. I kind of had a feeling that we were going to get some fantastic special effects, simply when the back of the DVD case here directly cites that all of the special effects are from Peter Jackson's Weta Workshop. And you know what, guys? Not only is this from Jackson's workshop, but also as I was seeing all of the gore effects and the puppet effects and the masks and everything else, I was getting strong vibes I was getting a very like similar feel that I got when I saw things such as Bad Taste, Brain Dead, and Meet the Feebles. So this stuff is not only from Jackson's workshop, this is vintage Jackson style effects, and that is just amazing. Because guys, I'm going to tell you, one of the strongest points in all three of those movies, Meet the Feebles, Brain Dead, and Bad Taste, is how awesome the special effects were, and moreover, the fact that all of the special effects were you know, practical instead of, you know, CG and composite shots and what have you. And this thing is the same way. Everything here is practical, barring maybe one or two CG shots. And mind you, those also look really good. But everything else here is practical, and it makes the movie look better because it's practical. Because you actually can see, you know, the blood and you can see the blood and the guts and everything are all right there instead of being digitally thrown on later. It really does make the whole film look better. And this is one of the reasons why, guys, I will always prefer practical effects over CG, because this thing would have looked awful if they would have gone with CG, and the fact that they stuck to practical effects actually helps the film out a great deal. Special effects here are fantastic, and that right there is plenty enough reason to watch this. However, though, the fact that we also have a really fascinating story, and we have awesome acting, this whole thing, guys, it just builds up and it works. Camera work here is really good. The lighting here is really solid. Guys, ultimately, yes, I can totally recommend Black Sheep, and I definitely have to say, if you guys can find this thing anywhere, I think it might be on Netflix, but I'm not totally sure. And you can probably find the DVD really cheap. Go out there, pick it up. I'm actually going to see if this thing is on Blu-ray, because I kind of want to upgrade it to Blu-ray now. Now, because this is Fan Appreciation Month, Black Sheep came off the Amazon wish list. The person who sent it in was Robert. And as always, Robert does not want me to give out his channel, and that's totally cool. Robert, dude, thank you, because I've been curious about this ever since I heard that it was a movie about killer sheep, and I wanted to see exactly how that was going to be handled. And it was handled incredibly, incredibly well, and I loved every second of it. This movie was amazing and awesome, and I fucking love it. And Robert, I probably would never have watched this if you hadn't sent it in, buds. Dude, you are awesome. Thank you. Now, because this thing, since this reminded me so much of Peter Jackson's earlier films, I'm gonna go watch my Blu-ray of Brain Dead. Why? Because that still stands as my favorite Jackson film of all time. And then probably when I'm done watching that, I'm probably gonna watch my DVD of Meet the Feebles, and then maybe I'll jump back into this thing. I really loved Black Sheep, and yeah, I also have to see if I can find it on Blu-ray at a fucking reasonable price. Anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.